Welcome to the Heart Path Podcast, your space to realign, reconnect and rise. I'm Nicola Spencer. I'm a thought leader, a coach in women's confidence, an NLP practitioner, a human design specialist, teacher and coach. And I'm here to help women in their 40s and 50s rediscover their purpose, find the joy in the chaos and rise into their next chapter with confidence and grace. Together we'll explore stories, strategies and soulful insights to help you embrace your true self and step into a life you love. This is where we let go of limits, redefine what's possible and thrive in every season of life. It's your time to rise. Are you ready?
This is my moment, my heart's design. I rise and thrive, the world is mine. On the heart path, where dreams take flight, I shine my brightest, my guiding light.
Welcome back to the Heart Path Podcast, where we dive into self-discovery and alignment and living with intention. I'm Nicola Spencer, and today I want to share with you some little tips to help you get unstuck. My job as a women's confidence coach is to help women find themselves again, find their joy, find their sense of fulfillment, and really help them get aligned with the person that they would like to be. Now, often as a mum, we are so caught up in all of the things that happen with our children. And, that is our job. It is a very important job. And I'm in no way saying that it's not important because, my two children are very important to me throughout the years of developing them, growing these little humans. They absolutely were the center of my world. As they get older, they become more independent, and we find that we are kind of like left in the background a little bit. We only really needed to be the person that ferries them from one place to the other, and often they don't really feel as if they want us included in part of their lives anymore. And this happens from like early to mid-teens. This can happen as well. So we kind of lose like a little bit of our sense of connectedness, our community. And when I think back to fortunately enough for me, my children have they both drive, so I don't have to be ferrying them around anymore. But even just like school drop off, when they were younger, they wanted you to take them into the classroom. You would see the school mums, you would have the community. Then they would start to, they might start to do a school sport or something like that. So then you have like another community at the school sport. Now, what happens is that as the kids get older, they don't kind of, they don't really need you there. And it's nice to hang around and like they absolutely still love you watching their school sport, but you may not be there as long. They might do training after school and you pick them up, and because they're very independent. And I know what happened with my two is that when they got to about year 6 or 7 and they really wanted to have that part of independence themselves, the school drop off became a time when I would just literally sit in the car. So you'd be like, the only reason I'm sure they wanted me to drop them off at school still was so they didn't have to walk. So we'd drop in, go into the drop off. They would get out, get a grunt normally, see ya, and I'd be like, have a good day, type of thing. And that was how my role evolved. But what it meant is that when that happens, you'd kind of lose a little bit of your community. The community that you had when you were waiting for the kids to be picked up after school, and you'd stand there talking to the other parents, and the community of watching them while they were training, that disappears. And you can quite easily find yourself in a lonely and isolated place if you don't have anything to replace that community that you could be losing. So I guess this is what we're talking about today, is a way that you can help rediscover that. And, even if that's not exactly right for you, you may still find yourself in a situation with a goal or a situation or a dream, but you're not really sure how to achieve it. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips on how you can do that. Now, these tips I have gained these tips from many podcasts that I've listened to, books I've read, videos I've watched. The theme is the same kind of theme, okay? And there's 4 or 5 different things that you can do. Sorry, I'll say 5 and 6 because I think there's one there that doesn't always get added in, that you can do to kind of like really start living a bit more in alignment with you, okay? So the first thing is to accept yourself. Where are you right now? Acknowledge where you are in the present day, right now. We're not really worrying about what has happened in the past. Sure, that has shaped you into the person that you are right now, but if you cannot accept where you are right now, and you cannot accept and find the person that you are right now, you are always going to have trouble moving on. Okay, so the person who you are today has been, is a mixture of everything that has come in the past. It doesn't necessarily define the person that you are going to be in the future. You can break the cycle. If you are someone who, thinks that, oh, I always make mistakes, why do I always attract these people into my lives? These are the people that always devalue me, and yet these are the people that always come to me. You don't need to have that going forward. You can change things. But the first step in changing it is actually acknowledging it. Acknowledging that this is where you are right now. This is where you've ended up, and this is the person you've been. So you can ask yourself these questions like, who am I? It's a pretty deep question. Who am I? And once you figure that out, own it. Okay, so a lot of clients I work with, and even myself, I found myself when I first started on this journey of really discovering who I was, and it unlocked a lot of the conditioning from my childhood, which our parents are doing the best that they could. They didn't know any different, but there were things definitely in my childhood that I did not want to take with me into the future. But to leave them behind, I had to actually acknowledge they existed in the first place. Otherwise, they would just continue with me. Okay. Once you have done this, it really helps you shift your energy into looking towards the future, looking to the possibilities of who you could be. It's quite powerful. It's not something that you might be able to do in a day. It may take you a little while to find this out. Okay. Now, the second thing is once you have discovered who you are, then I'm inviting you to think about, get curious about, like, where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to be? Okay, so this is where you can start to create a little bit of a dream for your future. And when you think about this part of your life, you are kind of like imagining a different possibility for you. And when I'm very big into goal setting, and part of goal setting is really imagining the future. It's really hard to set a goal unless you can use all of your senses to imagine what it would look like. And a lot of the things that I do all the time for myself and with my clients is I really ask them to imagine if they could feel what it felt like to achieve this goal. Look, who are the people around you? Where are you? What can you see? What do you look like in your imagination? And to hear. What sounds can you hear? So you're kind of using the senses to really feel into the emotion behind this, and you can fast track this. You can imagine in 12 months' time, what is it going to be like for you? It's quite powerful. And if you can imagine it, you can create like a little movie in your mind. And the movie can be a long movie, it can be a short movie, depending on, how everyone's imagination works differently. And once you create that movie, your subconscious will remember it, and it will often be replaying in your mind to remind you, to bring you back to focus on where you want to be, the person you want to be, where you want to go, all of those kinds of things. Now, the third thing to think about is to reframe a lot of our self-talk. So we have so many thoughts that run through our head every day. A lot of them are to do with us. Some of them are to do, with functional things, ticking off things that we have to do. But a lot of them are to do with us. We don't even sometimes realize we're doing it. So you are not your past. Your past doesn't define you. You are the person that you are now. And if you've gone through the first two steps of finding out who you are and where you want to be, this step is so important, because we really want to focus on right now and creating the future that is possible for us. And the best way to do that is to have positive thoughts. And if you find yourself in a situation where you are falling back into that negative talk and you don't want to listen to that, flip it, reframe it. Okay, and a way that we often use in NLP is to say the phrase "up until now." So if you find yourself and you catch yourself in that moment, forgive yourself. Okay, a little trick I learned from one of my mentors is just, tap yourself on the back of the head and go, "Thanks for that," because you're acknowledging it. And the more you acknowledge your thoughts, it'll kind of work out which are the good thoughts and which are the bad thoughts. And you're thanking it for every thought that comes your way, because even if it's a negative thought, you have got the opportunity to choose. Okay, so we're choosing to reframe that, and thanks for that, and then reframe it. Up until now, I have been thinking that I'm not enough. Okay, so we're saying, like, that's it, the end of the story, up until now. And then you say, going forward, I'm always going to know that I have gifts to give to the world, and everyone that comes into my life is there for a reason, and they appreciate me. Okay, so that's a way of reframing it. So within all of those sentences, it's actually telling you that you are enough and that you're with the people that you are meant to be. Okay, so that's just an example that I just came up with, and you know your life better than I, and you'll be able to do this. Once you practice it, you'll be able to do it a lot more often. Now, this is something that sounds so simple, and people I've spoken to have gone, "Oh yeah, it's to use gratitude." Okay, it sounds so simple, you hear it all the time, but when you actually practice it, it makes a big difference in your life. And you don't have to be, like spending a lot of time on this. It can just be like the beautiful moments in the day. You might be driving along and you see something which really is beautiful. So, say if you're driving along and you see a beautiful scene, okay, so I like driving along the beach. So sometimes I do take myself and just drives by myself, and I go along the beach, and I really like on the esplanade. I really like take in the beautiful scenery, the waves crashing, and I think to myself, how amazing that I live in a place where I can just drive a short distance and be able to see this. Okay, so these are the kinds of things. You're on a walk. Okay, so first of all, gratitude for being on a walk, but when you're on a walk, notice how the bark is peeling off the trees, or how the bees are buzzing around the flowers. These are the little things that you can take gratitude in. Notice the little things that your children do for you. Notice the things that your partner does for you. Okay, so this is where you can have gratitude, see just the small moments in life, and the more you look for the good, the less you will notice of other things, because you're too busy looking for all the good things, the things that bring you joy. Okay, so number 5. I think we're up to number 5 anyway. Now, I'm an advocate of journaling. I don't have it here. I should have had it here. I mean, I've got journals. I've got 2 of the same. I've got all sorts of journals. The people in my Best Year Yet program, as a gift for joining, they were given a journal, and it is a beautiful journal, and a beautiful pen. Now, I also had one, and I've already filled up, this year I've already filled up, I don't know, a lot of it, because I've probably had the book for about 10 days, and I would have filled up probably about 20 pages. It's 2 pages a day. It's only an A5, like it is actually only this size. So it's, and once you get in the flow of it, it's quite easy to write something. So whatever you're thinking, get it out on paper. I often have my journal with me during the day, and if I have a break, or I have time to myself, I sometimes will just sit down and just journal about things that I've been thinking about as it's come out throughout the day. Journaling is life for me. If it wasn't for journaling, so normally I meditate and then journal, and in the morning I try and do it first thing in the morning if I can. It opens up so much for you. And people I talk to about journaling are like, oh yeah, I don't know how to start. Just write anything. You can write at the top, today is, whatever date, and so today is Monday, and this is the date, and today I am feeling blah, 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 blah. However, you can, if you've got oracle cards, you could get an oracle card. So this is like one of my oracle cards I've just got here. Grab some oracle cards, and you can shuffle them, pull one out, and read what it's about and journal on that. That gives you an automatic way. I do have some resources for journaling. I've got some prompts which I have available to the people in my Your Best Year Yet program as well, for if they get stuck, okay, for journaling as well. It is a practice. It does take time to kind of like get there, and sure, there's some days when I go to journal and I really think I don't really know what I'm going to journal, and I do just start it exactly like that. Okay, today I am feeling, and then it'll just come. Okay, now this is one of the last things that kind of goes back to what I was talking about before, but it's really important to choose the empowered path. Okay, so if you follow me on social media over the last few years, I know this is a new podcast, but I have been on Facebook and Instagram for a while now. You will, like, the path is actually part of my brand, I guess you could say. Okay, so I'm always trying to steer people down the right path, and the fact that it's the right path isn't a coincidence. The right path, so if you imagine yourself, you're on a road, there's a fork in the road, and you could go left or you could go right. Now, the right path is the empowered path. The empowered path takes you down the road to, alignment. It's the road where positivity lives. It's the road where, you live in the present. You live in response. The left road is the road where there's negativity. You might be living in the past, and you find yourself you are more reactive rather than responsive. And the difference between being reactive and responsive is you're not really prepared. So to be reactive, you're not really prepared. You are these things are coming at you all the time and you're firing because you're not prepared for anything. So you can be, a bit angry. Your responses could be short and sharp because you're not living in alignment and you're living in the past, and, things are so negative. Whereas on the right, over here, you are living with empowerment. You are making good choices. You are looking towards the future. You have a vision in your mind. And when something happens, you respond in a more positive way. You're more forgiving. Okay, so you're not firing off bullets. You are more understanding. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. They are some ways that I work with my clients. These are some of the things that I see them. Now, I do have a program, and in the program that I have, it's an 8-week Rapid Results Rise program, and it's based on 3 different pillars, I guess you could say: results, align, and planning. Okay, so it's part of it is about results, part of it is about aligning, and part of it is about planning for your future. So it's similar to what we just talked about, okay, but it's in an 8-week program, and every week we do something a little bit different. So in the results section, we really talk about what you want to achieve, and we nut down on the why. Okay, finding out your why is really important. So I have a number of whys. I have a why with my business. I have a why I'm also a teacher, and I teach young children, and I have a why every time I go to work. It's actually pinned up on my notice board above my desk, why I am there. So if you've got a goal that you're finding it's hard to achieve, work out your why. Why do you actually want this? And your why has to be strong enough that you're going to achieve it. This is one of the reasons why maybe you haven't achieved it. Maybe you don't have a strong enough why. We'll also refine your values, okay, and we work out how they can also mix in with your why. And then we also future pace it. We create some vision for you so that your mind is focusing on where you want to be. Okay, again, we're not focusing on the past, we're focusing on where you want to be, who you want to become. After that, we then have a little bit more of a clarity session to work out if this is actually still the right goal for you. Because there's no point going down a path where, to achieve a goal, when after doing all of that, you think, oh, that goal is not aligned to me. Okay, so during this program, we're really only focusing on one thing to get a result in an area that you've been struggling with. And then again, using your imagination to reimagine what that's going to look like for you in the future. Then the alignment part is we nut out a lot of things that you are doing that's stopping you from achieving this. So, self-sabotage is a huge factor in achieving your goals. Everyone has it. I'm a work in progress. I still suffer from self-sabotage when I have goals, and it's a lot of effort to achieve a goal when you have these things in the background that sometimes you're not even aware of it. It's a habit that you've formed, and you get so far into a goal, and then self-sabotaging comes in. Sometimes you know it, sometimes you don't, and the results then kind of like peter away, and you don't really have a chance to achieve that goal again. Okay, so some of this is like incognito. They're like secret things that if we probably do know them on a level, but sometimes you don't know them. So this is like your shadow side, the shadow side of that's stopping you from achieving what you want to do, like your dirty little secret that's inside, and deep down you know what it is, but you may have never acknowledged that it's there before. Okay, so this is part of the align section. Again, more about values, okay, because values are a huge part of keeping us on track. Okay, so it's really important that our values are aligned, and that also if there are shadow parts to our values, that we work that out. There's also parts in this alignment where we create anchors, and an anchor is just like a little modality that you might do. So, it could be like pulling on your ear to get you motivated, having a saying that you're going to say, that kind of thing. Okay, so anchors are very powerful, and you can do it straight away to get you in the zone so that you've got the highest energy possible for whatever it is that you need to achieve. And then the last one is planning. This is when we really plan and implement and develop everything for the future. It's future paced. We link everything we've done over the 8 weeks together, and it's a real plan for success. And the last session really does nut out a lot. It gives you a clear path on, it's a tool that you can use. And, I lead you through this, but at the same time, you've got a situation where you have got tools that you can use again. So you can pull it out anytime you're feeling stuck and go through, and you can do it yourself. So, so that's eight weeks. Okay, and it aligns so beautifully with what I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast, with those beautiful things at the beginning. Accepting yourself, working out who you are. Okay, and then from there, working out where you want to go, who you want to be, and then choosing those positive thoughts, reframing things in your life so that you are thinking of them in a way that is serving. And then using gratitude, the little things in life that bring you joy, really noticing them and focusing on how important they are in your life. Journaling, so important. I love it. And then choosing the right path. Okay, it is really important for you. So I hope you've got something out of this today, because I really, like, one of my goals is to help as many people as I can, obviously. This is one of the reasons why I started the podcast. I really would like you to think about how this can work for you. And if you found this useful, share it with a friend. I would really love that. If you could leave a review, I would love that as well. And the more people that find this podcast, the more people will start living in alignment with their life and finding out who they truly are. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.